Pisces, hi, come on in. Great to see you. Well, here we are. We're going to do your November 2019 reading for Pisces. Oh, before I start, I will mention I have uploaded your Pisces 2020 yearly reading, and you can find that on the playlist in my channel, or just search Nigel Pisces 2020 and it'll take you to the video. It goes for about an hour. It's very extended because there's a lot going on for you next year, and so settle back with a drink and luxuriate in about an hour's worth of very interesting information that you should be aware of for the year coming up. Anyway, I'm going to get this reading underway. I'm going to use the Thoth Tarot deck. The Thoth deck frightens a lot of people. It is for me a very spiritual deck. The imagery and the titles of the cards, the titles of the cards don't necessarily fit with what the meaning of the card is, because for me the astrology is very important, and the placement of the cards as against each other is very important, and the interaction of the elements of the various cards is very important. I will, however, use my pen to maybe point out a few of the salient features of some of this esoteric and mystical imagery that's in this deck. Really a beautiful work of bringing together esoteric and mystical thought into a small place. Anyway, let's get things underway, shall we? A little bit of practical magic for us. 5 cards for you. Let's see what they have to say. Come on, who's coming out? What do you have to tell my Pisces friend here? Well, you look like you've come out, so you are the 2 of Cups. Who else is coming out? Who else is coming out? Come on, come on, come on. Well, you can't really rush it because you don't. Unfortunately, I'm not in control of it, so this looks like it is whatever it is. There's the Empress. Yeah, I've got to really just go with what I'm given, and because what I'm given is what you need to hear. And I know better than to, there's the 4 of Swords, I know better than to try and second guess the energy that's originating in the other realms. This looks like something, is it? They're poking out this way. Ace of Discs. What's this one? The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Love, the Empress. Truce, the Ace of Discs, and the Wheel of Fortune. Now, why don't you come down? I'll bring this chair over, sit down here next to me, have a look at the imagery on these cards while I do the reading for you. All right, Pisces, here we go. What looks like a lovely set of cards. Just give me 1 second and I'll just put this deck next to the cards that I have here. Now, of course, I'm not going to use this deck. This is a new deck which I've acquired, and as is consistent with my shamanistic practice, I just want to ensure that this card can watch and learn and have spirit infused in it. I'm drawn to this first card here, which is the Ace of Discs, to get things underway. Tremendous card here. Let's have a look at some of the imagery quickly on it, shall we? It's not a great deal to say. In the background here, the color green, which is about fertility and growth. These 2 things come down like protective wings around you. There are a couple of acorns here in bunches which show growth and fertility. There are other wings here as well which do the same thing. There's a perfect symmetry between these cards, both in these images rather, both vertically and horizontally. There is a spinning disc in the middle of here. It's not solid and it's not stationary. What that goes to show is life. It's moving. Everything is in motion. And in fact, if one were to look into the smallest parts of ourselves made up of atoms, everything would be moving. Now, I don't know if you can see in here, there is on this top circle a glyph of the sun, which is about creativity. And on these two circles here, there are the numbers 666. Now, many of you will probably think that, or you may have heard that the number 666 refers to the devil or something like that. Well, and the number 666 comes from a Christian scripture, which is contained within the New Testament of Christian scriptures, called the Book of Revelation, by a guy called John, of Patmos or something, supposedly. Anyway, there's nothing remarkable about it. The New Testament books were all written in Greek, and Greek didn't have numbers, and so Greek used letters and words to spell out numbers. And the number 666 actually means Emperor Nero, the Emperor of Rome at the time that author was writing the book, was the character called Nero, who was alleged to have burnt down Rome, and who instituted persecution against the Christians as a result, in order to, well, provide a domestic political diversion from other policies of his at the time. So that's what 666 means. Nothing magic about it, just means the Emperor Nero. But what can we say about this card for you? Let me bring it up here so we can see it in context with the other cards as well. There is nothing you cannot be, there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created. For who could reject such a wondrous magnificence? But you don't know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you see in the world is your idea about it. Life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word, and say it out loud, because words reverberate on into eternity. Words have power. A word becomes an action. If you are going to do it, start. But go all the way when you start. Do it. Do it. Do it. Seize it. Rejoice in it. And let no power on earth take it from you. Root of the powers of the earth. I see in this card for you the beginning of something tangible, prosperity and growth, material abundance underway, improving finances underway, possibly a promotion or a pay rise if you're in the workforce. Certainly good luck. And I think that there is the chance here also of unexpected money coming your way. I call this card the root of the powers of the earth. There may be someone who's important to you during this time, and it may well be a Taurus, or it could be an Aries, or it could be a Gemini. The people that I'm seeing around it. I think what we'll have here for you is, because aces represent beginnings, they're the seed of the element. They represent new beginnings and opportunities, and that's what this represents for you. And in the suit of discs, it relates to work projects or things which are to do with your entire standard of living. I'd have this thought in mind. Wealth is my natural condition. It allows me to express my spirituality and creative potential in this world. I am in harmony with the flow of nature. Let's go to this card here, which is in the center. Four of Swords. Well, I've got to say something about the number 4 to start with, and that is that I love it as a rule because it relates to stability, it relates to structure, and it relates to foundation. The Lord of Rest from Strife, I call this card. It is Jupiter ruling the 3rd decan of Libra, that period of the 14th to the 22nd of October. Some of the imagery that we can see here in the background here, we have this color, this sort of lilac color that's very much associated with the planet of Jupiter for me. We have a lot of yellow geometric figures which go to show some sort of thoughts which have been going through your mind, thinking, ruminations, worries perhaps. And yet here we have in the green of Venus. The color Venus esoterically is associated for me. We have this cross, the St. Andrew's cross, where 4 swords are resting inside the heart of a lotus. Now this lotus has, I just happen to know, 49 petals, and 49 mystically and esoterically is associated with the planet of Venus. And Venus rules Libra in ordinary astrology. But of course I have Jupiter in Libra in this card. The swords of these the hilts of these swords rather, have, well, it's difficult for you to see, but they represent the 4 elements: fire, water, earth, air. And the points of the swords are not involved in stabbing anybody, that rather they are resting in the bosom of Venus in that beautiful flower. So Jupiter in Libra. Libra tries to find balance in our lives. The need for balance can sometimes induce unrest. Libra can also sometimes induce indecisiveness. Jupiter, however, comes in and is giving you a period of rest from what might for you seem to be a difficult situation. Your mind is at rest from it, as well as perhaps opening your higher mind's flexibility. And that's needed to resolve conflicts in life. And Jupiter also allows you to move on with comfort. There's a expansion of your thinking taking place from a resolution that's coming about. I see recuperation, quiet consideration, agreements with other people. Things are stable, and taking a break from things. I think what's also important to say is that, and I'm just looking at it in connection with the other cards here, particularly the Wheel of Fortune that's down here, is that I think it's time for you to take some time out from a stressful situation, even a holiday to recharge your batteries. Certainly a mental health break is needed. Now, conflicts don't necessarily go away, but time out from them is needed. Make the most of this mental health break, but don't put off anything that needs to be done and which is unavoidable, because those things can just grow to become larger. But trust your intuition to know when enough rest has been obtained. I'd have this thought in mind, and it is that I am at peace within myself. Let's have a look at this Empress card here, because she, I think, has got something to add, great strength to add to that concern of love and warmth which is flooding all over you at this time. And I'd very much just say this, that, well, I call her the daughter of the mighty ones. Let's have a look at some of the imagery on her. She sits in now here's Venus again, but she sits with green and rose-coloured dress, which esoterically for me are representative of the planet Venus. She sits between a waxing moon and a waning moon. She's facing the waxing moon, which is about growth, things to come, development, and she faces away from the waning moon, which is about things that are no longer necessary or important. She's on a throne, the sides of which appear to be fluid and liquid, which is about her feminine principle and water that goes with it. On the top of this orb, which relates to the moon, there is a Maltese cross, which talks about the 4 elements, fire, air, water, and earth being in balance. She has in her hand a 4 petaled flower, which she holds over her heart chakra. And 4 relates to, in divinity, it relates to the infusion of divine love, the pouring forth of divine love. Notice how she's holding her arm, and this arm here, it's almost as if she's holding a child that we can't see, isn't it? Now, you may not be able to see this, but I can from where I am. On her belt, or girdle, you might call it, there are the signs of the zodiac. This demonstrates that the love that she has is for creation as a whole, for all of creation. She, in fact, really is the person who brings us from spirit into matter, and is the mother of all things. Down here, it's probably difficult for you to see. There are little fish swimming around. They're representative of the female principle. Nothing particularly interesting to say about that. That fleur-de-lis symbol there is from the French monarchy, which is, well, she's an empress, I suppose, and a pelican feeding its young. Now, tradition has it that a pelican would often feed its young from its own blood. So it's a very maternal figure. And here we have a dove, and here we have a sparrow, both birds of which are associated with Venus as well. What can we say about it? Oh, incidentally, I will say this, that this, the other thing which I'm getting here is this girdle, or showing all the astrology signs, says to me that you are going to be very attractive to other people during this period. Other people are going to find you very attractive during this period. Well, as far as the Piscean women are concerned, I mean, that's not hard to see why. I think you might hear of a pregnancy during this period. I think you'll be in touch with the beauty of your life, possibly also exploring a relationship with your mother or a mother figure, or possibly even turning into being a mother figure for somebody else, acting as a mother figure for someone else, or approaching a mother figure. I'm looking to see whether or not there's a great degree of cross, whether there might also be a father or male figure in there either. I don't think so. I think it's restricted to that type of a feeling I'm getting. Certainly you'll be empathetic and caring. And this reminds you that spirituality is expressed from the heart, this heart chakra here, and not from the head. That is, that spirituality, living the divine life, look, hope, wonder, they're the things to keep in mind. Years ago, I wanted to be loved because I was great, a big man. But, but I, as a body, am nothing. Look at the glory around us. Trees, birds. I lived in shame. I dishonored it all and didn't notice the glory. Well, that's how you live the spiritual life. You just notice the glory all around you, and you just live your life every day as a human. You don't need to become an ascetic rather. You just live life. I think this is very much about nurturing others and yourself. Very much is what I'm getting in here during this period. I think what we can also say is that, you are about me and through me. Your kisses are all at once in all places. The moist folds of your skin are open and engulfing and devouring the whole of me. Yet I am the gate, and the shaft of your burning and luminous love impales me and rips me and feeds me, even as your mouth, your touch, your womb swallows me up. Yeah, a strong love for nature. I think it'd be quite service-oriented as well during this period. Strong leadership ability. I think people will come to you for advice and guidance and leadership. And why would they not? Here we have, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, is there anything particularly interesting in the imagery of this card? Well, we have a wheel on top of which is a sphinx. To the bottom right-hand corner is a crocodile, and to the left is an ape and some stars. Look, there's a lot of other things going on in there, but to be honest, I think it would probably not serve your interests just right now for us to go into detail about them, other than to say this, that this card for me is the Lord of the forces of life. It speaks to me of abundance, prosperity, and good fortune. It is Jupiter, and the Jupiter is coming from this lilac-y colour that I think I referred to before, didn't I? Now, I think that what we see here is that there is going to be, a change of fortune for you, and I think this change of fortune for you, I think you're going to find it's actually quite good. It's almost destiny is what's coming in for you now. It's fate. It's almost as if there's a fated change coming in your way. It's certainly a time to make a determination to turn your life into something which is a more positive and abundant direction. And I think you could have unexpected opportunities, and you could even have windfalls. I'm getting the feeling of unexpected or unearned income coming around here. Yeah, really unearned income. I think that this is representing a period where there's going to be an unexpected change in your life. And I've got that fate aspect coming through here. So you should be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities which are coming in your direction. When times are good, though, always remember, stay centered. Because this wheel, the wheel of fate, it can move in any direction, can't it? And you can either be carried up or you can be carried down and squashed. But if you're in the center, then you don't have any problems whichever way it moves. I think change is about to happen. Now you may not even kind of understand the significance of what this change is at the moment. It could be as a result of things that you say or think or do or write, or people you meet. It could be because of conversations that you've had with people before that have led to this, to that, and just getting that feeling of, because things are all connected. These things are now coming into your direction. You need to, I think about whether you need to alter your present course or change things around you to set the stage for the right outcomes to come into your life, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, there's almost be happy also. Be happy. Just be happy and live life. And be happy that you don't have a headache.
Be happy that you do have a headache because you know that it's going to go away. This is a time to just have that very positive view and attract the good things to you. I'd have these thoughts in mind, and it is, I am now ready for the miracle of my life. I am a prosperous individual. I am flexible in times of change. I enjoy manifesting internal abundance externally. Abundance which created me is what I am. That's coming along your direction. Now did we cover that? Of course, I don't remember anything that I say. It just all comes through in a stream. Well, here we are finally then, the card of love. It's perfected love. It's love in its beautiful form. It is a love which, well, we'll go into some of the imagery, shall we? But first of all, I'll tell you that it's Venus in the first decan of Cancer, the Lord of Love. In that decan, which in Cancer, which is the 21st of June to about the 1st of July, here we have this lotus petal pouring water down. Now we have two dolphins here, and I'll tell you something interesting. Well, these are, I happen to know from mystical art that this is how they depicted dolphins. Dolphins, interestingly, have also historically been a symbol for Pisces. Did you know that? They have, not just the fish, but also the dolphin. Now, this dolphin on the left has, you may not be able to make it out, but it has a gold eye, which is representative of the sun, and the dolphin on the right has a silver eye, which is representative of the moon. The number of fins on this left-hand dolphin, represented by the sun, are 5, which ties him to the Emperor card, which is Major Arcana number 5. And this dolphin has the number 4 on it. This ties it to the feminine principle of the Empress. So there you go. That's interesting. There are 10 streams of water coming down into this sea. That refers to, mystically, to the earth, to manifested creation, which has emerged from out of spirit. That number 10. Here we have the green sea, which is talking about human love existing within creation. This is the yellow color, is love, which is spiritual and divine. And this blue sky with nothing clouding it tells us that the love has no complications associated with it. It is a great love which is coming to you and in you. Now, what's also important is that here we have there's also the glyphs here, Venus in Cancer. Well, both these glyphs, Venus in Cancer, are exalted up above the horizon. And this exemplifies the real benefit of you having drawn this card, I think, because Venus is the most receptive of planets. The planet of love, beauty, creativity, and money, it's got to be said. And Cancer is the most receptive of signs, and about nurturing, comfort, support, and healing. So I'm really seeing in here for you close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony, relationship or relationships that are strengthening, a mutual love and respect. The fact that, well, as I say, the card refers to Venus in Cancer, and Cancer, more than any other sign, is a receptive sign, and it is also the house of the moon. Cancer, in ordinary astrology. And in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted. So these are very, very friendly planets. You might hear about people starting to cohabit and live together in a romantic sense. It could also be marriage that you hear of at this time. Certainly close friendships which have got a good strong bond to them. You'll have also, I think, the beginning of other harmonious relationships. There is a love coming up from this which is both special and equal. You'll be able to give and receive love in equal measure. I think that it's a deep, significant relationship or family ties which are being referred to here. Or there could be an interest or work or hobby or some form of creativity that you have a passion for that balances out your emotional nature. This number two is associated mystically with me by the planet of Neptune. And of course, Neptune is your planet, isn't it? So Neptune is about breaking down boundaries, and Neptune has, of course, the second strongest gravitational pull after Jupiter. The other thing I'll say is it's so close to the ace. See, the Ace of Cups would be the card before it in this suit. So close to the ace, this great sense of love and togetherness is something that is happening now or which is imminent. And Venus, beauty and balance in Cancer, deep emotional relationships and family. A really, really great card for you to get. Glad you've got that. Some great news. That's the way it is for you this month.
Well, there you go. There is your November 2019 reading. And look, I thought that was fantastic. I really enjoyed doing that. Extremely interesting for me to be able to do that. I love this deck, and I love the messages that were coming through for you. I think that I think you're going to have a great month. Look, the only other thing that remains for me to say is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye for now.